Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to our line of esteemed juries, fellow Engineering Challenge finalists, the organizing committee working behind the scene comprising of Meranti, IEM and STEM for All Makerspace Committee, STEM educators and our wonderful guests who are tuning in from wherever you may be. My name is Akila Hashim and I will be your host this afternoon. It's an honor for me to welcome all of you to the grand finale of Meranti World Engineering Day 2022 Engineering Challenge. The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO declared World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development WED as an official international day in 2019. WED is an occasion to honor engineering and the contributions of engineers around the world to make the world a better, more sustainable environment. The universal terms for 2022 is Build Back Wiser, Engineering the Future. And Meranti, the Malaysian Research Accelerator for Technology and Innovation, which is a merger of Technology Park Malaysia TPN Corp and the Malaysian Global Innovation and Creativity Centre MAGIC, is Malaysian Central Research Commercialization Agency that accelerates the development of technology innovation from concept to implementation. Meranti connects, incubates, and catalyzes early-stage ideation into mature entities that can be commercialized and scaled. Meranti is an honor to be leading the Malaysian chapter of World Engineering Day celebration in collaboration with the Board of Engineers Malaysia BEM, the Institution of Engineers Malaysia IEM, and STEM for All Makerspace. Our goal here is to inspire action and develop next generation innovators in harnessing the potential of engineering to achieve the sustainable development goals and address global pressing issues. In fact, this engineering challenge is our commitment to walk the talk and carry on the continuation of our nationwide celebration on the 4th and 5th March early this month at Meranti Park. There are two challenges launched on 19th February, but today, let's give it up for the 9 finalists coming from 7 different universities and colleges across the nation who are up for Meranti First Engineering Challenge theme, Engineering Biomimicry Ideas for Sustainability. In essence, biomimicry is a process of taking inspiration from nature and applying them to technology to improve our quality of life. As how Meranti is inspired by Meranti 3, this engineering challenge used the biomimicry team to conceptualize and innovate sustainable solutions. In order to emerge as this national champion, participating teams must be able to propose original ideas which are based on engineering principles, aligning to the theme of sustainability, solutions that feature sustainability elements such as in terms of materials usage, and be regarded as revolutionary of the impact to be created towards industry or community-wide are the solutions that we sought after. To all the finalists, I believe that you are nervous, yet super excited to show to the world the ideas that you have made of. Before we officially begin the pitching session, let me introduce you to our panel of esteemed judges here with us today. First up, we have Engineer Rusnida Talib. Engineer Rusnida Talib currently heads on an engineering unit in Kuala Lumpur City Hall. She was an immediate past chair of Women Engineers Section IEM and has been actively involved in various activities conducted by women engineers and IEM itself. Second, Engineer Dr. Chua Yao Long. Engineer Dr. Chua Yao Long is the immediate past chairman of IEM STEM Promotional Subcommittee. He is serving as a senior lecturer in the Mechanical Engineering Department of University Tenaga Nasional and currently the vice chair of International Young Member Committee, Institution of Mechanical Engineers UK. The last judge will be Ms. Pui Ying. Ms. Pui Ying is currently serving as an operation engineer with March 3 engineer focus on corrosion engineering. She is also serving as a committee member with IEM Women Engineers Section and also the chairperson of Institution of Mechanical Engineers Malaysia Branch Young Members Section. A round of applause for our panel of judges here. To the audience tuning in, should there be any inquiries you would like to raise to the finalists, we welcome your question at the chat box at our live stage on worldengineeringday.my. Your question may be picked up and answered live. Now, without further ado, let's start the first theme. Our first challenger this afternoon has come up with a solution inspired by mangrove roots. Challenger called themselves as Cyrus Rich from University Malaysia Terengganu, led by Brian Revin Nelson, introducing triangular sediment trap. Finalists can start once the countdown ends at 5 seconds.
Very good afternoon to organizers and panel judges. We have gone through the presentation. So today I thought of actually showing you all what actual product looks like. So just imagine, I will show it diagonally, or we can look at it like this. So this will be the mangrove tree. Okay. So when it is embedded in the ground, only 1 meter of its roots are actually anchoring the plant, but the entire weight of the plant is on the top section. Okay, so just imagine that much of weight is actually being pressed down and anchored by very widespread roots. So the roots can either be like this or it can be like this. Okay, so taking over this concept, we are now implementing an idea where we can reduce impacts of continuous erosion, but that area must be already a damaged area. We cannot implement this idea into a new area and say that it is going to hold over erosion. This is because we need the barrier that was introduced and the barrier that we have shown previously where the beaches have already become damaged. It is no longer a beach, it is a vertical column. So now, by giving on this idea, this structure is very lightweight. It is not durable. So to make it durable, we will actually have to prepare a cast, okay? And then from that cast, we can prepare the actual testing unit and deploy it. So just imagine this is a very long piece. So this entire section will remain underground, okay? And as we can see, this would be the anchor. So now we will have to decide whether do we put it around 45 degrees or 22.5 degrees. So every section of this mangrove tree has a purpose. So the roots itself can collect different sorts of sediment sizes, and therefore we have come up with the idea of using the sediment trap to build back wherever that was damaged, so that wherever the rocks are, that will be the permanent barrier. If a very vigorous monsoon comes, at least that barrier will prevent the loss of sediment in this section. Okay, so by having these permanent structures over here, it will be a permanent trap, and then there will be surface sediment will stop moving on top. Vertical mixing does not occur, and therefore the beach is just remaining as it is. So together, this entire system is rehabilitating the beach. If considering we have already lost the mangroves in that area and we want to plant back on sand, that is impossible because we will need very fine sediment. So what do is we will implement these human structures by taking the idea from the mangrove plant and implementing it at the site. So I've purposely done the presentation in this way because we have already seen the digital form. So showing the technical aspect of it will be a crucial part to actually show that we have a working solution. So with this, thank you very much.
We will now be opening the floor for questions from the judge. Judge, over to you.
Thank you, Miss MC. Okay, Mr. Brian, question number 1 to you. What is your expected limitation by using this triangle sediment trap? And the second question will be, as we know that there are few methods that we can use to control the sediment. So how your design is different from others? Over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Regarding the first one, how do we minimize the error? Let's say it's not a working solution. So the arrangement of it is part of the patent that we will have to produce. We have few considerations. Number one is the depth. Number two is the arrangement. Number three is the distance from the water body. So when we prepare this patent, we will have to calculate before we even put the structure into it. We will have to consider the wave cycle, the tidal cycle. We will have to consider the wave strength, and also we will have to look into the sediment transport, the types of sediments that are present. So weighing on these three options, it can tell us what is the distance between each platform, what is the distance from the water body, and as well as how are we going to put the arrangement. Okay, the arrangement will either be in a V shape or in a W shape. And then regarding the second question, right now, how do I say, we have a lot of patents. All of it are involving very heavy structures. One is very light, but if you have it in a mass, it's very heavy. And when the problem is when you have it too heavy, you are allowing sediment to get displaced because of gravitational forces. So ours in one is very light. Maximum will be around 50 kilos. So it will be plus minus because it will depend on how much of binders that we use and sediment in the entire mold. So plus minus about 50 kilos. So with that, we are counting as one independent, and the weight is negligible because it is also weighing on how much of sediment is available in the column. So with this, the risk of getting this product to be a working solution is very minimal. In fact, the benefits are more than the risk. So this was what was shown in when we did the modeling using different ends and how sediment is rotating around.
Hopefully, our team Cyrus Bridge be able to answer all the questions by the jury. All right, our next challenger Alpha is from University Technology Malaysia. They have come out with a solution inspired by birds, whales, and dolphins. Wow, what are they up to? So, pitchers, let me remind you. After 5 seconds of countdown, you may start your pitching. This team led by Chin Rong Siang introducing Easy Breath.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Okay. So, a very good afternoon to all the judges. My name is Rong Siang from University Technology Malaysia. Our team consists of 2 members, which are Kelvin Wu and me. Do you know that COVID-19 and sclerosis will reduce the volume and capacity of our lung that causes us to have a reduced efficiency? This will eventually lower the respiratory muscle strength and cause other problems such as shortness of breath, fatigue, and etc. In order to strengthen the muscle, we introduce you Easy Breath, which is a breathing device along with mobile application to serve as a treatment plan basis for patients to enhance the quality of breathing. For the breathing device, our idea was inspired by the respiratory system of the birds, which is unidirectional. When the animal is breathing in or breathing out air, it takes the same pathway from the back of the lung to the front, which means the flow of air is constantly passing through the lung in one direction. This is important to the birds so that they can maintain a high efficiency breathing process while flying above the sky. When the bird inhales, the air sac will expand, and at the same time, the air will be forced out by contracting the air sac. Same goes to our device. When the exhale air was blown inside our device, the balloons will expand, and at the same time, before the inhale moment, the balloon will shrink as it lost the force to retain the shape. The features for the breathing device is user-friendly equipped with sensors for disease detection, and customizable for different scenarios. Next, for the mobile application game, it was inspired by breath-holding mechanism from the whales and dolphin. They can hold up to 30 minutes before return to the sea for the gas exchange. According to the studies, holding breath regularly will strengthen our lung muscles. So how will the holding breath benefits us? So first of all, our lungs are springy. So over the time, our lung will lose its springiness. By holding breath regularly, the lung muscle will work at the maximum limits and retain the elasticity. So next, for the features, it was inspired by breath-holding mechanism from the whales, and the features included is the gamification elements, cumulative point reward system, user-friendly for all range of people, and customizable for different games for different conditions. Now, let me show you the simple prototype that we had made to illustrate the breathing device. Let's say I choose a scuba diving game. First of all, after I inhale, I have to hold my breath. So this is the simple prototype that I had made. So after I inhale and exhale, the balloon will expand. And after that, after I remove my mouth from the attachment, and the balloon will shrink by itself. So, and the process repeat over and over again. In order to validate our market, I asked one of my friends, which is a sclerosis patient, and he shows a strong interest to buy our solutions after I introduced him. To summarize, Easy Breath is a complete treatment for patients with lung problem that combines breath holding, resistant training using balloons, and unidirectional flow to ensure a smooth and efficient breathing process. The breathing device was inspired by unidirectional flow from birds with higher efficiencies, while mobile application game is inspired by the breath-holding mechanism of whales and dolphins. That's all for my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alpha, for your pitch. I will now pass over the floor to the judge for any questions.
All right, okay. Thank you for your presentation. So I have two questions for you. So my very first question is, why in the first place you want to include gamification features into your prototype or your unit? Then my second question would be, what makes your product, because I've seen that you have included gamifications. For most of us, the adults, we may not like gamification features in the product. We just want a simple product. What makes your product that is attractive to adult patients? Okay, if I don't want the gamification. All right, so that's my questions for you.
Okay. So for the first questions, right, we actually included the gamifications element because our aim is to target the kids and also the elder people, as without the gamification element, it might seems to be boring for them. And besides that, for the by including the gamification system, right, those kids will be actually motivated to play the game, so that it can be treated as a treatment plan. For example, you can play 2 times a day, 7 times a week. Yep. So our target is to aiming for the kids and the elder. So regarding the second questions, which is the adults, if they do want to, if they doesn't like the game, they can actually just doesn't have to play the game now. Yeah, so they can actually work by itself by the device alone.
Thank you for your questions. So that leads me to another question just was popped up. So if I don't want the gamification features, would that be let's say affecting the price of your unit? Have you ever thought of that?
Yep. Okay, thank you. So for the mobile application, right, it is actually free of charge, which means that the public can download it from the Google Play Store or even the Apple Store. But what makes it different is that we have to combine both both elements like the breathing device and also the mobile application to make it more interesting. So let's say for the how to say for the device, breathing device itself, the price is 200 ringgit. So the mobile application is free of charge. Yeah, so it doesn't affect the price.
Thank you, Jarish, for the great question and also the great answers from Al-Fatih. So, is there any question from Ms. Pui or Engineer Rosnida?
No.
Okay. So, therefore, I would like to remind the audience that tuning in, we welcome your question at chat box at our live stage on worldengineeringday.my. So, without further delay, next up, the students and or the challenges that come far away from East Malaysia University Malaysia Sabah. Green Mechanical and Production Research Laboratory has come with a solution inspired by trees and the transpirations process. Led by Karen Wong Min Jin, introducing tree-based solar vapor generation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karen Wong Min Jin. Today, I will present about my research, which is tree-based solar vapor generation. Imagine you are in a place with limited access to clean water, but surrounded by unsafe and unusable water sources such as seawater and brackish water. What can be done to obtain clean water from the water sources? Clean water can be obtained by heating up the unsafe water sources to generate water vapor and cool it down to get the clean water. The heating and cooling steps are the evaporation and condensation process respectively. The next million-dollar question, what is the possible process that we can use from the nature? Inspired by the tree transpiration process, we developed a tree-based solar vapor generation where water is drawn, heated up, and vaporized as water vapor. The tree structure system helps in improving the evaporation process as each component in the solar vapor generation setup plays a specific role. The capillary as the roots and stems, while the solar absorber as the leaves. A novel hybrid carbonized soda barium titanate composite solar absorber is used to absorb sunlight and produce heat for the evaporation of seawater, and clean water is collected by placing the tree-based solar vapor generation setup in a closed transparent container to initiate the condensation process. Since our main goal is to provide a feasible, green, and cost-effective technology as the targeted communities are in the remote areas and other areas with limited access to clean water, our tree-based solar vapor generation is constructed with low cost and easily obtained materials. Cotton towel can absorb water easily, hence it is used as the capillary and the medium for the solar absorber, while polystyrene does not absorb heat easily. Is utilized as the separator and solar absorber holder. The materials can be obtained domestically or can be bought in low prices from retail stores. The features of both materials help in enhancing the evaporation process while reducing heat loss. Carbon-based materials are widely known as an excellent light absorber for its naturally black color. For a sustainable source of carbon, we choose waste sawdust since it is usually thrown away, which causes pollution. Carbonized sawdust consisted of high carbon content, which is around 80%, and the improvement on the light absorption ability is done by attaching barium titanate nanoparticles. Thus, we do attachment of nano-sized barium titanate, which have higher surface area compared to the micro-sized carbonized sawdust, along with the high refractivity of the barium titanate. This means barium titanate nanoparticles can absorb sunlight and keep the light inside its structure to produce more heat for the evaporation process. The tree-based solar vapor generation is aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals number 6 and 13, where this technology offers a carbon-neutral process for a long-term clean water generation, which is beneficial to the society without causing any harm to both nature and human. Furthermore, the setup of the tree-based solar vapor generation is not complicated, where it can be easily assembled and operated, hence it does not require skilled workers. Therefore, our tree-based solar vapor generation is a promising system for clean water production as it can be implemented widely amongst the targeted communities. So what makes our tree-based solar vapor generation unique? First, the setup is inspired by the tree structure and transpiration process for enhanced evaporation process. Second, the materials used are easily obtainable. Third, sustainable carbon source, which is waste sawdust. Fourth, the utilization of renewable energy, which is solar energy. And lastly, the evaporation process does not produce any harmful carbon byproducts. Thus, we provide a carbon neutral technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen, for your pitch. Judge, you have 5 minutes to ask any concern or question that might pop up in your mind. Judges, the floor is yours.
Right, thank you, Karen. So I will start the session with the questions. Now, my very first question is, in order for you to generate 1 liter of water, how much time is needed? Have you considered that? And okay, how is your method compared to ordinary filtration water?
To generate 1 liter of water, from our observation on the evaporation rate, we can produce about 600 gram. So it means like around 600 milliliter of water in about 1 hour of the process. For the next question, for the comparison of the from our process to the filtration process, the available filtration process, actually, I haven't done any study regarding this, so I cannot give any further comments on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I will proceed to my next question is, okay, so you were referring to a situation where you have abundance of so-called blackish water, or what do you call that, maybe polluted water or these kind of things. So if this is what you are given to me, which is 1 hour, which you will be able to produce 600 ml, okay? And you were referring to that your so-called your power is actually from the solar energy. Probably there's one limitation. What happens if it is a cloudy day or it's a rainy day? Have you ever considered the kind of situation where your prototype or your method is not usable? In that is the situations, how are you going to move on with your method here?
For that matter, actually, I did consider perhaps I can improve with implementing a container or a box called the SolarSteel. So I can implement my system inside the SolarSteel, even though it's cloudy or rainy. Actually, when it is implemented in the SolarSteel system, still it can produce water, but definitely the efficiency will be lower because of the effect of the environment itself, the solar energy itself.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judges, and also Karen. Is there any other additional question for me?
Yeah, I have a question for Miss Karen. Apart from sawdust that you are using in this prototype, any other materials that can be used?
Currently, our laboratory itself, we are trying another material, which is rice husk. But from other studies, I can see that a lot of waste, such as leaves, corn husk, for example, like grass, they are using unlimited number of waste. But for our study, it's still in continuation. So the next, perhaps the next material that we are trying to play around with is rice husk.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question for you, Karen.
Thank you. Okay.
Just very curious, how do you ensure the biomaterials used, which perhaps your rice husk, your sawdust, don't get infected with bacterial growth and contaminate the water?
Actually, that is one of the point that I'm taking consider as well, because the current qualities that I measure is only the salinity and pH. I did not measure any contamination in terms of bacteria, etc. So for that, maybe I can consider it as one of the parameters that I will look through in the next study.
Do we have one more question? Do we have time for one more question?
Yep, sure.
Okay, Karen. For another question, is this system for, let's say, in Borneo side, I understand that there's many floating villages. So is this system designed for them? Because from my understanding, this system should be very affordable if it's designed for the rural communities. Am I right? How much do you anticipate this system to cost?
If we do some scale up, for now, my system is around like 0.1 meter square. If for the future consideration, actually we want to try to scaling it up, perhaps into 1 meter square, so around like 150 ringgit Malaysia for that one type of prototype. So to implement in the floating village, we have some ideas about how to make the system floating inside a solar steel. So still, this is a continuation study, and I have some consideration on that. So I hope that we can make it possible in this area. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Seems like the judge is very excited with all the with the solution. So, okay, next, following up with the fourth challenger, Smart Engineering from International Islamic University Malaysia. They are proposing a solution inspired by our national flower, hibiscus flower. So, led by Amjad Fakri Kamarul Zaman, introducing thermal sensitive smart materials biocomposite.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to the honorable judges and the audience. Right now, I will pitch about my idea of biomimicry, which is hibiscus flower inspired machine learning for 4D printable material. Okay, this is our group member. I am Amjad Fakri and my colleague is Romaino, and I have also 2 advisors for my project. The concept idea of the biomimicry is we want to use the 4D printing material to imitate the thermal ecology of hibiscus flower concept, which is the material can restore the heat of the object by reducing the heat radiation lost from the object itself. Okay, this is the concept that I want to explain, which is on the different temperature of weather, the flower will close its petal to capture the heat from the surrounding, to make sure that the reproductive system on the flower is protected from the very high temperature or the very low temperature on the different weather. Okay, from the concept, I want to make a 3D part which has the ability to change itself, change its shape into a different shape, which is as you can see from the image, and the parts has the ability to adapt itself by capturing the heat from the surrounding for the system that we want to apply on it on. Okay, in this idea, there are 2 main things that can be categorized, which is machine learning part and the 4D printing part. The machine learning part, firstly, we have to obtain the data from the experiment and put it into the machine learning model so that we can get the optimized parameter for the 4D printing part. The machine learning, in the simple way to explain, machine learning is artificial intelligence AI that has the ability to learn without any assist from the human itself. The purpose of the machine learning is actually it can get the high performance result by adapting to the current condition which mean that when the condition in the future is changing, the machine learning can adapt itself so that it can adapt with the current condition that has happened, that is not happened in the past. Okay, the second part is the 4D printing, which is we can say that is the fabrication part. From the optimized parameter that we get from the machine learning, we can use it to mix the material that we want into a filament that has the special ability, the special features, and from the filament we can print it using the special 3D printer such as multi-filament printer or a smart 3D printer. Okay, as 3D printing is a new concept that has only emerged in the past 10 years, I can explain it in the three parts, which is process part, material part, and the feature part. The process part is it is the same as the 3D printing procedure, which it can be designed using the 3D part can be designed using the CAD and convert it using G-code, and after that we can produce it using the 3D printer itself. But the special features about 4D printing is the material itself is it is a smart material, which is the material has the ability to change its shape in response to stimulus such as heat, light, or humidity. So we can say that the feature of the 4D printing that the product can change its shape, can change its shape from for example from a 2D part into the 3D part, as you can see in the animation below. Okay, the application that can be approved using the 4D printing and the machine learning is firstly using by applying the 4D printing into the greenhouse panel. The greenhouse panel can adapt itself according to the changing weather on the different day. The heat sensitive fabric also can be applied by cooling the weather of the sportswear to make it to make the weather more cooler on the hot day. And lastly, we can using a 4D printing to produce the plastic mulching so that it can adapt itself when the plant need more sunlight or need more temperature. It will open itself and the plant will get more sunlight from the sunlight itself. Thank you. That's all for me.
Okay. To the audience tuning in, we welcome your question at the chat box at our live stage on worldengineeringday.my. Don't forget to drop in any concern or question in the chat box. Judge, the floor is all yours for the questions.
Hello, Amjad.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I would like to ask you to recap your problem statement of your project and also what is the practical usage of your project.
The problem statement is firstly 4D printing is very new. It is about 10 years or 9 years in the research right now, and the smart material that can be used in the 4D printing is not really having the suitable material is not really done yet, because when we want to print using the 3D printer, the filament also is a very important part, where if the filament cannot be melt in a suitable temperature, the part that the 3D printed part will be very can be easily, for example, it is not very durable, or it is when we use the part, the changing of the change of its behavior will be more inconsistent, which make the 4D printed part is useless when we produce it. So to make sure that the 4D printing is more reliable in the future, we want to use the machine learning to predict whether the which parameter that can be used to uh, apply to the 4D printing, so that the 4D printing material can be reliable on the future itself.
Okay, thank you
What
very
is
much.
the another question?
So let me recap your problem statement. You actually found a problem with the 4D, 3D, 4D printing, and you would like to improve it. Am I right?
Yes.
How do you relate the hibiscus flower with what you are trying to do?
Firstly, on the video, the video also mentioned that we want to focus on the thermosensitive part. So the hibiscus flower has the ability to close itself to capture the heat, or it is also the hibiscus flower also in the research, it also has the ability to capture the heat as like a greenhouse. Also the shape of the hibiscus flower, when it closed, it also considered as the micro greenhouse shape, which it can capture the heat and bounce it. Uh, some of the smart material can do such thing, which is we can also relate it with the greenhouse application, where we can where the smart material can adapt itself to be the greenhouse panel can be adapting itself to capture the heat on the optimal amount, and uh, uh, reflect back the the excess amount to the surrounding.
Okay.
Okay, that's all.
Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you. So can I ask my questions? Okay, I have one question for you, basically. I just curious about what is the contribution of machine learning in your project, because I don't see the relevance or there's a need for machine learning in building the, what they call it, in constructing your 4D or 3D materials.
Like I said earlier, for the printing, the material has also the smart material also can be mixed into a different type of uh, material, such as I can in my project, the testing material will be in three type of material, which is PLA, epoxidized palm oil, and the lignin. From these three materials, it is difficult to predict whether it is difficult to test whether the tensile strength is when we combine it, uh, we don't know that the properties will be changed in a large scale or only a small scale. So the machine learning also can uh, try to predict the properties of the material after it being mixed, so that when it is being mixed, the parameter also is also can be listed, such as the melting temperature for the filament to be for the material to become the filament, or it can also predict the tensile strength of the material when it is being printed, and to make so it is I think it is relevant for the printing to be related with the
Thank you, Fakri,
machine
for the
learning itself.
descriptive answer. I believe the judge have taken notes on your answers on your answer for their questions. So I would like to highlight. I like the question from Ms. Boy about on the problem statement of the solution. I believe the ideas of having these World Engineering Days is come out to the Meranti objective from ideas to impact. So we are looking on the impactful of the solutions, and as well as how does the participant, the finders, the challengers come up with these great ideas and solutions. So coming from University of Malaya, zebrafish, with the solution inspired by zebrafish, I wonder what is the idea. So led by Hugh Yi Kei, introducing retinal regeneration.
Good afternoon to all judges and all attendees. I'm Yi Kei from Team Zebrafish. Before I begin, can I ask for everyone's favor to just close your eyes for 2 seconds? 1, 2. Now open your eyes. Did you see what I showed for the past 2 seconds? Your answer should be no, but if it's a yes, that means you are picking all right. Imagine if this lasted for more than 2 seconds or even more than a day or a year. This is what people with impaired vision or progressive vision loss have been dealing with for many years due to damaged retina or degenerative diseases in the retina, where they're unable to see or only able to see the world partially. Seeing is believing. This phrase is true because many times people only believe what they can see. Imagine being visually impaired. It wouldn't be easy to believe when you can't see. For centuries, people thought that blindness was incurable. Once the darkness sets in, it never retreats. Well, what if we told you our innovation could possibly perform a miracle? By applying biomimicry, our innovation is retinal regenerative injection therapy inspired by the regenerative abilities of zebrafish. Zebrafish are biologically similar to humans, where both humans and zebrafish eyes contains mewleglia. Hence, we can achieve retinal regeneration of human eyes by injecting gamma-aminobutyric acid, GABA inhibitor drugs into the retina, which activates the response of mewleglia cells to act like stem cells and begin dedifferentiating and proliferating. Do you know, according to the World Health Organization, WHO, 295 million people suffer from moderate to severe vision loss, and 43 million people are believed to be blind globally in 2021. This is set to increase to 115 million people in 2050. The first 3 leading global causes of blindness are cataracts, followed by glaucoma, and diabetic retinopathy, a complication of diabetes. All of these which are associated with damaged retina or other retina complications. In line with the Sustainable Development Goals SDGs set up by the United Nations, SDG 3, good health and well-being seeks to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. We strongly believe that our innovation could decrease the number of people with blindness by helping those visually impaired or have progressive vision loss due to retinal injuries or diseases to regain their eyesight, and most importantly, promoting well-being and improving their quality of life. In order to ensure sustainability of our innovation, in hopes that it could be feasible enough to be developed in the long term, it's important to take note of the risks and carry out future research. One of the risks is that uncontrolled cell differentiation can lead to cancer. So it is crucial to control the regenerative process in the retina. We can overcome this by estimating the duration needed for retina to regenerate based on each patient's condition, injecting the right dose, and expelling the GABA inhibitor once the retina is fully regenerated. Next, we have to ensure that the GABA inhibitor injected into the retina do not cause undesired proliferation of other stem cells in the body. Our future research also includes testing for adverse reactions of GABA inhibitor drugs such as biciclin, cercirinin, metrazole, benzodiazepine, and flumazenil, and drug safety assessments. All in all, our innovation is a prospective idea that could benefit those with visual impairment. Hence, future research needs to be carried out along the way. Before I end my speech, I would like to switch around the common phrase from seeing is believing to believing is seeing. Believing in us and in our innovation, which leads to you able to see. Thank you very much, and we welcome any feedback or any questions.
Thank you, Zebrafish, for your pitch. seeing and believing. I think it can also relate to online shopping, as we would like to see the comments, I mean like the feedback from the previous customer, so then we can believe to buy the things. You know, virtually right now, pandemic, so we can't see it physically. So to the audience tuning in, we welcome you to ask any question or concern, or perhaps require any assistance in terms of to spell out anything that presented by Zebrafish just now. Just drop into our chat box in our live stage on worldengineeringday.my. So, Judge, the floor is all yours. Ask away.
Okay, thank you. Hi, EK. Okay, it's interesting to know that the similarity between human and the zebrafish between 60 and 70%, right? Okay, so apart from the zebrafish, have you considered any other organism or any nature that can be related in your innovation?
If talking about like the retina, not yet, because like we only found like zebrafish where they have the myeloid glial cells in them, which can help to regenerate like their vision. But then like if you're talking about like regeneration of other parts, we considered like something like lizard or like any other animals as well. But for retinal regeneration specifically, this one we only considered zebrafish.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, hi, okay. So from your presentation, I believe I assume that you are actually taking the content from the zebrafish eyes and try to regenerate the cells. Okay, if my memory catch me correctly, I used to have zebrafish when I was still a kid. And it's something like a ikan bilis, you know, it's so small. Okay, and our eyes are so big. Okay, how many zebrafish you need to actually to generate those things? That is the thing that catch me. Okay, that is the first thing. Okay, and have you ever considered any objections from those NGOs that deals with violence or actually violence towards animals or these things? Because so far I know that only lab rats are allowed for experiments. Maybe if I'm wrong, please correct me. Okay, I'm sure that some of them will actually go against this.
Sorry, hi, my name is Joshua. I'm also in QEST in Zebrafish. I would like to take the questions. So first of all, your question on the zebrafish, on us using the zebrafish eyes for our regeneration, first of all, I think that is a slight miscommunication there. It's actually, we are using the GABA inhibitors for our own eyes, for our own myeloid cells to be activated to regenerate themselves. So we're just mimicking what the zebrafish can do, but we're not really taking what they have and putting it into our eyes, because yes, as you say, zebrafish is really, really tiny. So we're just mimicking what they can do with their similar eyes, similar retinas that they have with the humans. That is the first question. The second question would be based on the NGOs. Based on the first question, we already said we're not really harming the zebrafish as opposed to we're just mimicking it. So we are just using the GABA inhibitor drugs, which is already in stores, and we are using it into our own human retinas. So we are not harming any animals and won't be going against any NGO's statements. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm just really, really curious, Joshua. How do you compare the eyesight of the zebrafish and humans? As in, because from my understanding, usually, you know, the perspective or sight, you know, the sight of a fish should be different from us humans, right? You know, we look things pretty clear and all.
Yeah, that is true. That is also a research that we are currently we will be considering. But as said earlier, that we are just going to apply, we're just going to mimic what they have. So it means we are just trying to use their amazing regenerative abilities and try to use that in us humans. So we're not really taking their eyesight, we're just trying to regenerate our eyesight. So it means that once our retinas are damaged, if our retinas are damaged, so we are just trying to make sure that our retinas regenerate
to provide our basic eyesight back.
Wow, okay. Then when we talk about this regeneration, how many percent of your retina can, get us back to seeing as usual and clear instead of, sometimes like a blurry patch or what?
We believe it is actually still in the animal testing stage based on a different research that we have seen online that they have already tested on mice, but that is using a different therapy. So we believe that based on that research, we believe that it can be fully regenerated and will be 100% on their eyesight will be fully regenerated.
And what is the...
But yes, future research will still need to be done for this.
Your anticipated cost like per patient? Let's say one side of the eye is damaged.
Cost as in price, right? Yeah, so we are estimating about 4,000 to 5,000 per therapy on one eye.
That's the price of like a basic surgery.
Yeah, per eye.
Per eye, yeah. All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, judges.
Thank you.
That was a short and precisely presented by Zebrafish. Disclaimer, audience, just in case you miss out, the team are not going to harm any animals. So, our next challenger has come out with a solution inspired by honeycomb. Oh, super sweet. I'm craving it right now. Okay, next. Nilai University challengers with the name of Be Different, BEE Different, are up for our biomimicry challenge, led by Clarissa Wu Huiyin, introducing 3D structure incorporated with titanium dioxide nanoparticles for wastewater treatment. Over to you.
Greetings to all judges. Good afternoon. My name is Clarissa from Be Different. Have you ever paid attention to wastewater? And if yes, what have you done to conserve our water? Well, it is a sad truth, but it is also a fact that most of us Malaysians do not pay attention to our water resource, since many of us might think, oh, well, we live in a peaceful country, no rich with unlimited water supply. But do you know, out of 477 rivers in Malaysia, 51 of it are polluted in 2017, according to the Department of Environment. What is even worse is that 25 of the rivers are considered dead, and it cannot support aquatic life. So, what does this statement has to do with our project? Well, our project might provide an alternative to wastewater treatment that is lower in cost, high efficiency, and sustainable. You may ask, how? Well, it all starts with biomimicry of honeycomb structure. Basically, our idea was to incorporate titanium dioxide nanoparticles into a high surface area 3D structure inspired by honeycomb. Titanium dioxide was embedded in a matrix, since the direct usage of powder in wastewater treatment are non-recyclable. By incorporating the nanoparticles, the honeycomb 3D structure allows recyclability and sustainability, along with high mechanical strength. Our team has actually done the actual experiment using the actual prototype. It was proven that it's able to inhibit bacteria and degrade dye. So, as mentioned, current wastewater treatment systems are unable to remove all toxins and heavy metals. Agriculture is one of the fields that is responsible for heavy metals leakage due to the usage of fertilizers. However, titanium dioxide is proven in its ability to remove all these pollutants, and this is how our idea can provide higher water quality to consumers or even possibly treat polluted water source. It is also important to point out that our project compliances with the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, number 6, 11, 12, and 14, adopted by the United Nations to call for actions to protect our Mother Earth. We believe that our proposed idea can be beneficial to the stakeholders, such as wastewater treatment providers, manufacturers using dye or discharging organic waste, and food industry by saving cost and time for wastewater treatment. Energy consumption and treatment time are the important aspect in wastewater treatment. According to FISAL, a wastewater treatment plant costs 3.5 million and her operation cost is 25,000 per month. The typical treatment time for wastewater is usually 24 hours. Whereas the cost for using nanotechnology as wastewater treatment only includes nanoparticles, 3D printing ink, 3D printer, and possibly flow system. In this way, electricity can be greatly reduced. The limited capability of titanium dioxide nanoparticles, which is only activated under UV light, can be improved by doping with elements such as carbon, nitrogen, or sulfur to increase the band gap into the visible light region and be activated under the visible light. So in this way, it can be improved by, So once our structure is activated under the natural sunlight, it will be very beneficial to the stakeholders because it's basically zero cost for them. So the next step of us is to improve the study by cooperating with engineers to create a larger prototype for possible commercial usage. It is also worth to mention that our work is currently supported by the FRGS grant by the Ministry of Education, and we will slowly influence more researchers to follow our footsteps to commercialize the wastewater treatment using nanotechnology. Lastly, we make ideas happen. Thank you.
That was a great presentation. So audience, don't forget to drop in your question or concern in the chat box. Okay, all the way, So over to you, judges.
Okay, so thank you, Clarissa. All right, okay, so I have two questions for you, and these things are related to your product itself. My first question, is acrylic environmental friendly? One of your product materials, ingredient, is it environmental friendly? That is the first thing they can answer to me. Second thing, your product, is it biodegradable after some time? 5 years, 10 years, is it biodegradable?
Okay, thank you for your question. That's a very interesting question. So the first question was whether the acrylic is environmental friendly. So I will answer by, because at current stage, we can only use this kind of source as our printing ink, because in 3D printing, most of the printing material are thermoplastics, metals, ceramics. So there's actually not yet any biodegradable material that can be printed. So that's the reason why we use acrylic. But if you say that it's not environmental friendly, I believe that in some ways we still does this project based on environmental friendly concept, because our structure are able to recycle many times. If you have seen the video, this structure is actually very mechanically strong, where when it undergoes vigorous stirring, it does not break. So this structure can actually be reused for several times before we discard it. Thank you. Did I answer your question?
Okay.
Okay, Clarissa. From what I understand, you are printing the 3D honeycomb, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then, in the relation to what you try to innovate to benefit the wastewater company, right? So, is it that 3D material put it in the wastewater treatment, or how the mechanism of your innovation?
Yes, it is like actually my study is based on the separation system, because as I mentioned in the teaching, when we use the nanoparticles in powder form, imagine if we disperse, maybe we say Milo powder in the hot water, it's very, very difficult to just get back the powder, right? Because it's already dissolved in the water. So my idea is to incorporate these nanoparticles into a suitable matrix that is high surface area inspired by the honeycomb structure, so that when I want to get it out from the wastewater treatment, I can just take out like that. So basically the mechanism is by putting many of these structure into the wastewater and then let it react with the pollutants. Thank you.
Okay, do you mean that when we put the so-called the 3D honeycomb and then all the waste will be attached to that and then we just collect the water and then the water can be cleaned up, something like that, right?
But basically, the first step of the preliminary treatment is crucial, like the separation of large debris from the wastewater. That part is very crucial. And after that, maybe we can do a sedimentation process to let finer particles to sediment first before we use this structure to further treat the wastewater.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, judges. Is there any other question?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Hi, Clarissa.
Hi.
You mentioned about currently at this stage, you are actually 3D printing your honeycomb structures, which the one you show, like a ball, am I right?
Yes.
All right. So, in the future, when you would like to mass commercialize this product, have you ever thought how are you going to fabricate it? What materials are you going to use, and what are the limitations? Because I couldn't think of how are you going to fabricate such an intrinsic structure if we are not using 3D printing.
Yeah. Okay, let me answer your question. The first reason why I choose 3D printing is because 3D printing is a high precision technology, which we can print a very complex structure that is with very, very high surface area. So that's the main thing why I use 3D printing technology. So your question is, how can I actually mass produce this to commercialize it, right? So for further research, we need to cooperate with engineers to actually design a more higher surface area structure or even a bigger one to actually treat the wastewater. So in this stage, I can only tell you the further step which I will be doing. So we will cooperate with engineers to design a better structure, okay? And then after that, we will create a bigger prototype to actually test on the actual wastewater. So in the material base, if it's possible and if there's time for my research, I will also study on what kind of material that is suitable for 3D printing that is biodegradable.
Okay. Thank you. Because I suddenly have an idea, which is if you ever seen the filtration balls in aquariums. Yeah, I suddenly thought of that with regards to your project. Because those are ceramic based usually.
Yeah. Thank you for your idea.
Thank you, judges, and also thank you, Be Different, for your pitch and answer the question precisely as what has been asked. Judges, don't forget to take a good breath of fresh air and take in some time because we are approaching the next presenter, our 8th challenger. Okay, sorry, our 7th challenger. Okay, all the way from College Kemaman Tinggi Mara. Virtually today has come up with a solution inspired by bottlenose dolphin fins and also mangrove trees. That is such a bizarre inspiration, yet interesting to understand further. So led by Muhammad Hazri Aiman Abdurrahman, introducing bamboo charcoal kiln.
Hello. Okay. Hello everyone and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Hazri Aiman bin Iraman and my partner is Muhammad Safwan bin Muhammad Rosli. We are the representative from KKTM Kemaman. Without wasting our time, we would like to present to you our engineering biomimicry design on bamboo charcoal killing. This is our group member, Encik Syahid Saman bin Syahid Abu Bakar, our supervisor, me and my partner. This project is a project that supports the development of sustainable technology through the use of bamboo charcoal-based product. Bamboo charcoal is a clean and sustainable source of energy that can help to reduce wood consumption and protect forests in Malaysia. The ability of bamboo tree to grow fast around 2 feet a day is one of the main features of why it is an alternative product to forest wood. From the slide, we can see the bamboo charcoal advantages. First, sustainable. Second, eliminate odor. Third, absorb excess moisture. And the last one, purifies and mineralize water. In order to improve the efficiency of the bamboo killing that we delivered, there are two concepts from nature that we have applied. First, the concept of heat transfer from bottlenose dolphin fin and mangrove tree effect on wave and wind. The problem-solving method we have taken very much coincide with the title of this competition, Engineering Biomimicry Ideas for Sustainability. In addition, with the availability of bamboo charcoal kiln, which is more efficient and easy to operate, the bamboo industry in Malaysia can be better developed, as the development of bamboo industry in Malaysia is still relatively slow due to the lack of support equipment produced by the locals. Through the improvement of the bamboo industry, it will open up greater job opportunities, especially in rural areas, as bamboo trees are easier to obtain in rural areas in Malaysia. From the slide, we can see the export value of bamboo in Malaysia still far away compared to the export value in other countries. And the last one is the bamboo charcoal kiln development project has also been recognized through the achievement of the Gold Award in the Malaysia Technology Expo 2022. That's all. Thank you very much. Any question?
For your pitch, Judge, the floor is yours.
Okay, Aiman. From your presentation, actually, what is the problem statement actually that you want to achieve? Because we couldn't see any mention about the problem statement, and then what are you trying to solve? So can you please explain about it, your problem statement?
The problem statement is heat loss through exhaust. Second, low heat transfer efficiency, and the last one is uneven heat inside the bamboo chamber.
Okay, but in related to that, how does it relate with the mangrove and the dolphin fin just now? Yeah, I'm sure I kind of understand about the flow, the airflow, the hot flow, and everything. But what is actually the relation that you can let us know, can make us more understand about your project?
The related is we want to, from our design, from combustion heat. Combustion heat is
Why dolphin?
Why dolphin or why bamboo?
Why not elephant? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me explain in bahasa. Okay. Pertama sekali, kita design ini adalah untuk daripada kita mempunyai satu tempat untuk bahan bakar, iaitu menghasilkan satu haba yang mengalir daripada bawah terus ke atas, dan kemudiannya kita akan haba itu akan mengalir ke satu plate, iaitu plate kita panggilnya, kita memanggil fin. Fin itu akan menyerap haba itu dan masuk ke satu chamber tersebut. Dan yang mangrove tree pula, mangrove root pula adalah persistent blade, iaitu di tepi-tepi dinding tu. Dan kemudiannya untuk fungsinya adalah untuk mengalir haba dengan baik dan memaintainkan haba tersebut. Maksudnya haba itu tidak terlalu cepat keluar daripada nozzle dan sebagainya.
Okey. Tapi okeylah, maknanya daripada dolphin fin tu tadi dengan mangrove tu adalah mimikri dia menunjukkan cara perjalanan haba tu, sama ada kita boleh kepung dia daripada dia keluar lah. Okey, tapi kenapa buluh tu, bambu tu? Adakah kalau kata, sebab you punya projek bamboo charcoal kiln, so kalau kata dia bukan bambu, dia apa, mangrove ke ataupun dia item lain ke, macam mana? Is it applicable juga dalam you punya projek ke atau macam mana? Is it you sebenarnya nak memperkenalkan bambu tu sebagai satu bahan dalam tu?
Ya betul. Sebenarnya ini adalah desain untuk menghasilkan arang daripada buluh itu sendiri.
Arang buluh.
Arang buluh.
Okay. Alright, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, terima kasih Aiman.
Aiman,
sama-sama.
bolehkah anda ceritakan apakah perbezaan desain kamu dengan kita punya penukar haba yang ada dekat industri? Apakah perbezaannya? Adakah ia berjalan dengan sistem penyojokan cecair ke apa? Kerana kalau dolphin, kalau kita cakap pasal dolphin, dalam dia punya fin ada lapisan lemak yang akan jadi cecair kalau panas sangat. Betul tak?
Betul, tapi kita ambil konsep tu, tapi bila kita letak di dalam desain tersebut, desain charcoal kiln, kita mengekalkan haba tu. Maksudnya kita menyerap haba tu masuk ke chamber.
Okay, so sistem penyerapan haba tu bukan pakai cecair lah, dia just pakai fin arrangement dia.
Ya betul.
Dan apakah perbezaan reka bentuk clean anda dengan clean yang lain yang dekat pasaran? Kerana kita tahu dalam Malaysia banyak yang dekat tempat-tempat ada clean arang, clean batu bata. Apa perbezaan clean anda?
Bezaannya adalah salah satunya adalah reka bentuk. Reka bentuk untuk mengekalkan haba tersebut daripada cepatnya keluar haba tu. Dan kemudiannya masa untuk membakar sampai jadi arang tu lebih kurang dari 3 jam.
Okay, terima kasih banyak.
Thank you, judges, and also Aiman for the preaching session as well as answering the question. So next up, we have Rovision, students from International Islamic University Malaysia. Their solution is inspired by Escargot. Awesome! Led by Aisha Ibrahim, introducing Rovision for the blind.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? A very good afternoon to all the respected judges and audiences. Today, we would like to pitch our idea in Biomimicry Engineering Challenge under the field of medical and healthcare, which is Minirovision for Visual Impact Traveling Assistant. I am Aisha and representative for my own team. Blind or visual impairment may refer to someone who are limited with their vision. People with visual impairment rely on sense of touch for navigation and require direct contact for wayfinding. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, at least 2.2 billion people have a near or distant vision impairment globally. And the most depressing part that about 90% of the world's visually impaired are from undeveloped and developing countries. In Malaysia, the number of registered persons with disabilities is alarmingly increased by 10% each year, which includes visually impaired people to the statistic. Vision impairment poses an enormous global financial burden, with the annual global cost of productivity losses associated from uncorrected myopia and presbyopia alone is estimated to be $244 billion and $25.4 billion respectively. People in high-income countries and with higher socioeconomic status within all countries likely have better access to new technologies and vision aids to enable workforce participation. Solutions must be found to overcome these persistent inequities while developing and implementing policies that enable labor force participation by all who wish to pursue it. The proposed idea is to develop mini Rovision, which purposely designed to help visually impaired people to ensure safety and independent mobility. This idea aims to help visually impaired in mobility by using 2D LiDAR sensor to detect obstacles and notify the user using haptile feedback if there are obstacles that may lie ahead of the user's path. There are two distinct features in escargot that lead to this innovation. First off, escargot have pedal muscle structure. It is exploited to form an adhesive clip that can adapt to various diameters of individual's blind stick. And instead of having a permanent embedded device onto the stick, the users can easily attach and detach Rovision whenever they need it. Escargot also secretes sticky mucus, and inspired by the viscous mucus, the adhesive clip are able to grip to the white pin firmly. The second distinct features is escargot has a wider vision frame due to their eye located at the tallest tentacles, which can position their eyes to various directions, allowing a flexible point of view of 2D LiDAR sensor to monitor surroundings for the blind for obstacle detection. The advancement in adhesive technology really give blind and impaired people advantages, as they can be independent without any support from other individuals necessary. Through our process of development, we found about 4 adhesive devices that kinda similar with our product, except that we have 3 differences in terms of sizes, price, and also the features. Our product is much cheaper than any in the market, as it is just only 282 ringgit per unit. And it is also small, and it is portable given by its pocket size. Lastly, it has a clipper that can attach and detach easily to any kind of cane, so the users just have to use their own cane. Inspired by the characteristic of escargot, which are the escargot's locomotion and vision, Rovision is developed with robust and optimized to be a portable product by having gripping mechanism and can accurately detect obstacles with 2D LiDAR sensor. It is hoped that this idea will contribute to gradually reduce the difficulties of vision impairment in the local and worldwide community, in line with the 3rd Sustainable Development Goal to ensure holistic healthy lives and promote well-being. This is the references for the statistics. That's all from me. Thank you. And welcome for education.
Wow, okay, there is sound of escargot ke tadi. Okay, so thank you Rovision for the pitching session. That was great. So I believe the judges have a lot of questions for you. So all over to you, judges.
Thank you very much. Hi Aisha. Okay, as you mentioned earlier, the Rovision is embedded with a 2D LiDAR sensor, right? And it's helped the impaired people by sense of touch. So by clipping your innovation, all right, to any kind of cane just now, as you mentioned. Yes. So how the impaired people get the sense of touch? Because how they translate that sensor, how the impaired people can know, okay, there's an obstacle in front of them. Good equipment.
So this is the 2D LiDAR. It will detect the obstacle in front of it. So when it detects the obstacle, when there are obstacles, it will vibrate. It will give the vibration, and the vibration will transfer to the cane.
By vibrating, right? Okay.
Yes, vibrating.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, hi. So I have quite a number of questions, but I think in the concern of time, first thing is I presume that your prototype will be powered by batteries?
Yes.
How long does your prototype how many hours? That's my first question. And second question is you mentioned that this is going to be cost around 200 something, right?
Yes.
My concern will be all these, what do you call it, the OKUs, the Orang Kurang Upaya, they will be most likely the lower income area, most of them. and this 200 over may be a burden for them. So if your product is going to be mass produced, in your opinion, or maybe in your estimation, how much it can actually further reduce from the so-called 200 for 200 more from there?
Okay, thank you for the question. For the battery, our product is long lasting for 2 hours. I have the calculation of it. But to answer your question, yes, it long lasting for 2 hours. And then for the price, actually we can reduce it. But for right now, I use the original Arduino Uno, but we can not like lower the quality Arduino, but there are another Arduino Uno that but much more cheaper from what I'm using right now. So maybe I can use that as main board.
Okay. Right. Any question from you?
Hi, Aisha.
Yes.
So there's a few questions from my side, but let's see how many you can answer. One, how did you relate LiDAR and escargot?
Okay.
Two, what are the limitations of LiDAR? For example, can it detect different depths? Let's say you are walking and suddenly there's a pothole there, can it tell? And three, you need to calibrate your LiDAR because the measurement of the LiDAR might, get out of calibration over time, because its usage is a cane. You might be subjected to vibrations and also, being hit by something else. Yep.
Okay. The first one, how I relate to the LiDAR with escargot, right? Okay. Escargot have 2 tentacles that at the tallest of the eyes. So the eyes, yes, the eyes can move around. So as I use this to the LiDAR, it also have 2D, which is it has wider range. Besides one, because 1D in LiDAR just point of.
Okay, good.
Okay. For the limitation, actually, as I said, 2D LiDAR has just wider range, but it doesn't have the pole detection. So maybe in future product we use infrared. If I'm not mistaken, because I have research about it, we use infrared sensor, because infrared sensor it can detect light and dark environment. Pothole has dark, right? At the surface, pothole is dark while the surrounding is light. Do you understand, right? So in the future, we will use infrared sensor. We will add it. We'll add it another sensor. Okay, and the last one. Sorry, what is question again? For last one.
The last one is, do you need to calibrate your LiDAR sensor? Because, over time it might be, the sensor is a bit out of calibration due to vibrations, you're poking the walking stick everywhere.
Okay, for right now, we currently just it's not in the final form yet. We want to update and upgrade, so it might be robust, because when we want to commercialize our product, we have the warranty for the our product, right? So if there is some broken, the users can just give back refund to us, give back to us lah for our.
Okay, one last question. What is the range like before the haptic sensor will give you a feedback?
I'm sorry.
Obstacle before the optic sensor can give you a feedback. The haptic sensor can give you a feedback.
The coverage.
Yeah, the coverage.
The radius of sensor. 1 meter.
Radius of sensor.
0.5.
Right now I use 0 until actually 20 meters until 800 meters. But our limit is just it detect for 4 meters only. So we limit.
Okay. 4 meters. Okay.
4 meters, okay.
Yes, 4 meters only, not 800 meters lah. We limit lah. Sorry.
Thank you.
That was one. That was a great answer. Then the blind people can, if it can actually detect on 800 meter, then the blind people can actually do be an athlete actually. Okay, so Aisha, you can take a deep breath. You're doing great. So we are moving to the last challenger for today. Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, our ninth and final challenger of the day, calling themselves as High Team. Students from Nilai University have ideated a solution inspired by tree branches, led by Lesnar Chai Zuan Huang, introducing High Tree Sustainable City Farming.
I'm Lesnar Chai, and I'm the founder of High Tree. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine that the world being covered by cars and buildings and smokes, while all the greeneries are totally disappear from our sight. Wouldn't that be beautiful? I'm sure the answer must be a big no. But unluckily, majority of the people did not realize that many actions that we take in our daily life are wasting the clean water sources and having significant carbon footprint on the earth that could one day lead to world's largest problems, which is causing hunger and vanishing the greens. Terrible, isn't it? But unfortunately, no one cares because most of us do not even want to grow our own vegetables for our own consumption. It is just because most of us do not have a land to farm. But what if I tell you there's one powerful way that make your dream of home farming comes true? It's gonna provide you constant fruit and vegetable supply throughout your whole life. Let me introduce to you High Tree, which stands for hydroponic tree. Now, please tell me what kind of vegetables or fruits that you would like to eat for your dinner tonight, or what types of flour that you would like to buy for your beloved wife, or what kind of medicines that you need for your health purpose. Well, High Tree can provide all of that. What is High Tree? High Tree is an adjustable tree and have an efficient hydroponic system on the top, supported by a strong and durable branches. Now, you might ask, how long will it take to grow the plants on High Tree system? Well, you don't have to worry about that because the High Tree system will produce more than 350 plants in the minimum of 20 days. A lot, isn't it? Now, others might ask, is it safe? The answer is definitely. High Tree have a composite branches that can withstand more than 100 tons of weight. Also, the composite tree trunk are also designed in a specific way that it could survive under strong wind conditions. Now, another question pops up. Is it efficient? Well, you may evaluate yourself because High Tree only use a small area on your land and will not interrupt any of your activities. It can also save you time and effort from going out purchasing fruit and veggies from the market. It also saves you costs as you are your own vegetable supplier. What do you think? No doubt on it, the impact of High Tree is so huge that it could save the earth from the environmental degradation and regreen the earth again. The High Tree can be implemented in the countries that suffer from hunger, such as Somalia and Africa, in order to achieve SDG 2, zero hunger. Nevertheless, High Tree brings us moving towards an achievement of SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. Did you see the potential of high tree. However, high tree will not be possible without the biomimicry of tree trunk and branches. All thanks to the nature. Thank you.
Thank you, Lesnar. That was super persuasive pitching. If I was a judge, I will definitely give an A+ for presentation, but definitely I'm not a judge. Okay, so over to you, judges.
Hi, Lesnar. You have a very interesting accent. And yeah, let's get to the point. When we talk about your high tree project, so how high is your high tree? As in, how tall is it? I'm just being funny. And yeah, let's just talk about how tall is your high tree is first. Let's talk about that first.
All right, good evening. I'll be answering for this part. So we are actually focusing, as we said, we are not replacing the trees, but we are adding the trees. So in this case, we are actually focusing not the minimum size will be a room size, basically floor height to the next level. So, and also expandable up to a normal height, which can be up to 6 meters around that, because as you said, the branches are expandable. So you can go to, it's portable also, like if you're planning to be inside, you can move into inside, because our main focus here is actually to plant more trees also internally, because since we're doing hydroponics, we don't really require like direct sunlight or straightaway like water system like from the drain or whatsoever, because we are providing artificially, because that is what hydroponic is. Here we are not focusing on the hydroponics, but we are highly focusing on the main design itself.
All right, so it brings the question, how are you going to harvest your produce? Because it looks like it's from the prototype shown, it's kind of like a cone shape. So how are you going to reach? I'm afraid for the top layers, it's a bit hard to reach, am I right?
Yep, absolutely, and we do take that into account. So as I said, since this is extendable, the lowest will be 150 cm, which means even like a small kid can actually reach the top. So there's no problem of you reaching the top itself. Even the worst case, even if like 5-year-old child want to, you can put a chair and straight away take a fruit and eat.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. All right. So high tree. So I have quite a number of questions. Okay, I'll just go straight to the one that I'm very interested. Why not plant a tree straight away rather than coming up with an artificial tree? That's my first question. Okay. And then in your prototype, you mentioned that this whole thing can be adjusted. How are you going to adjust a so-called, let's say this is a 6 feet or 1 story or 2 story high tree? How are you going to adjust this one?
Yeah.
And it's so big and it's so heavy. How are you going to adjust it? It's not like your prototype. You can actually adjust it just using your hands. How are you going to adjust it?
All right. So for the adjusting part, so we have reconsidered a part of advanced research and development, but for our part, we have the first thing we have considered is hydraulic system, because hydraulic system is known to like less effort and more powerful of lift or whatsoever. So the first thing will be a hydraulic system, and the second will be mechanical screwing system. So these two parts is definitely doesn't have any problem lifting up, because as we said, we are mimicking the trunk and the branches supporting system. So here we don't have a weight or any like limit or whatsoever. The only thing we need to concern here is about lifting up. So that's where the answer comes. Hydraulic system is the answer for the branch system. Yep.
Okay, Jagadish, can you explain briefly how the mechanism of this high tree work out? Because I saw in the beside you just now, there's a cable underneath the green layer. So how does it works actually?
All right. Looking at the prototype, actually we are currently using water pump. Okay, just like any other water, like to supply water, we water pump. So, water pump. All right. So what we do actually, everything, there's no any additional mechanism like on top of the grass. Like there's nothing. Everything is underground. So there'll be a small, like super small base, like underground, which will be planted, and all the water system or everything pump will be there. So the water will be pumped through the trunk to the top straight away, and gravity does the work where the water flows down automatically towards the down, and from once it reaches the end, the water flows back through the trunk to the bottom. So basically this water flows in a cycle. So in this way, we are saving the water, at the same time less maintenance we need to do. Since this is a hydroponic system, the water already consists with the nutrients and the right amount according to the vegetable. So we not only save the water, but also we save energy here, because when for the water to flow down, we do not use any external pump or whatsoever. So we just need a small base for us to pump the water to the top.
Okay. Do you have the cost for this your innovation, your project?
Yes, definitely. The cost price per unit is roughly 400 to 500, and all the items are biodegradable, such as PVC, and also they're eco-friendly. They don't have 100% eco-friendly, but they are biodegradable almost up to 75%. So as we said, we are not like changing the entire thing, but we are improving the environment. So in this case, 400 to 500 per unit, and the maintenance will be around 50 ringgit per month. So looking at this case, I'm sure the question will be, is it profit enough if we invest this much onto a artificial tree? All right, so the question will be, since our listener have said, so 350 plants we can obtain per month. Once we divide, which can support up to 20 families, and average becomes only 2 ringgit per family you will be getting at the end of the day. So that means the cost and the profit is almost 90% you are winning.
Okay, thank you, Jagadish.
Thank you, High Team and judges, for the great question and answer session. So there we have, ladies and gentlemen, 9 inspiring challenges with ideas they believe will help them take on nation advancing towards the achievement of sustainable development goals. To all the challenges, let's go for a short 10 minutes break to take a deep breath and loosen up. You all have done a very great job. To the audience, stay tuned for the climax, the award announcement. We will be right back.
Idea bukan sekadar idea. Idea adalah bukti daya cipta dan kebijaksanaan. Malaysia telah menunjukkan kepada dunia bagaimana idea diperkasakan demi pencapaian gemilang. Maka, bayangkan jika setiap idea dapat dibangunkan dengan peluang yang sama. Idea hebat mungkin tak sempurna. Idea yang disruptif menggegarkan status quo. Idea yang teragung sering diperkecilkan. Idea kreatif kerap dipersendakan. Namun, idea tetap wujud di mana-mana, sama ada di makmal, bilik darjah ataupun puncak gunung tertinggi. Visi yang menginspirasikan harus direalisasikan bagi memacu perubahan melalui return on ideas. Kerana setiap karya pasti ada permulaannya. Masanya sudah tiba untuk setiap benih idea bercambah dan tumbuh dan menerlahkan nilai kebolehan rakyat Malaysia demi menempa return on ideas untuk para inovator dan pengubah dunia. Kami persembahkan dari idea ke impact. Meranti.
Ideas. They're more than just ideas. They are a testament to originality and resourcefulness. Malaysia has shown, time and again, how ideas transition into greatness. So, what if all ideas had a shot at standing tall among the best? Great ideas aren't always perfect. Disruptive ideas rock the status quo. Big ideas are often belittled. Creative ideas are often scorned. But no matter where ideas come from, whether labs, classrooms, or mountaintops, or even our struggles and motivations, these inspired visions deserve everything it takes to accelerate change with the new return on ideas. Because every masterpiece has to start somewhere and needs room to grow. So now is the time for the seeds of ideas to mature and strengthen and highlight the value of Malaysian ingenuity as we reach for new heights together as a nation and forge the return on ideas. To all fellow innovators and game changers, we are here for you. Ideas to impact. Meranti. Ideas. They're more than just ideas. They are a testament to originality and resourcefulness. Malaysia has shown, time and again, how ideas transition into greatness. So, what if all ideas had a shot at standing tall among the best? Great ideas aren't always perfect. Disruptive ideas rock the status quo. Big ideas are often belittled. Creative ideas are often scorned. But no matter where ideas come from, whether labs, classrooms, or mountaintops, or even our struggles and motivations, these inspired visions deserve everything it takes to accelerate change with the new return on ideas. Because every masterpiece has to start somewhere and needs room to grow. So now is the time for the seeds of ideas to mature and strengthen and highlight the value of Malaysian ingenuity as we reach for new heights together as a nation and forge the return on ideas. To all fellow innovators and game changers, we are here for you. Ideas to impact. Meranti.
Idea bukan sekadar idea. Idea adalah bukti daya cipta dan kebijaksanaan. Malaysia telah menunjukkan kepada dunia bagaimana idea diperkasakan demi pencapaian gemilang. Maka, bayangkan jika setiap idea dapat dibangunkan dengan peluang yang sama. Idea hebat mungkin tak sempurna. Idea yang disruptif menggegarkan status quo. Idea yang teragung sering diperkecilkan. Idea kreatif kerap dipersendakan. Namun, idea tetap wujud di mana-mana, sama ada di makmal, bilik darjah ataupun puncak gunung tertinggi. Visi yang menginspirasikan harus direalisasikan bagi memacu perubahan melalui return on ideas. Kerana setiap karya pasti ada permulaannya. Masanya sudah tiba untuk setiap benih idea bercambah dan tumbuh dan menerlahkan nilai kebolehan rakyat Malaysia demi menempa return on ideas untuk para inovator dan pengubah dunia. Kami persembahkan dari idea ke impact. Meranti.
Ideas, they're more than just ideas. They are a testament to originality and resourcefulness. Malaysia has shown, time and again, how ideas transition into greatness. So, what if all ideas had a shot at standing tall among the best? Great ideas aren't always perfect. Disruptive ideas rock the status quo. Big ideas are often belittled. Creative ideas are often scorned. But no matter where ideas come from, whether labs, classrooms, or mountaintops, or even our struggles and motivations, these inspired visions deserve everything it takes to accelerate change with the new return on ideas. Because every masterpiece has to start somewhere and needs room to grow. So now is the time for the seeds of ideas to mature and strengthen and highlight the value of Malaysian ingenuity as we reach for new heights together as a nation and forge the return on ideas. To all fellow innovators and game changers, we are here for you. Ideas to impact. Meranti.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As the judge are still finalizing which team shall walk away with the grand prize of 5,000 ringgit to accelerate your ideas further, I would like to pass the floor to Mr. Ramesh, the Program and Community Engagement Director of STEM for All Makerspace, to share with you some programs and activities lining up at Meranti Pop-Up Makerspace. You better take this opportunity to grab coffee and snack as soon as possible while taking this note. You might not want to miss this out. Over to you, Mr. Ramesh.
Thank you. Thank you, Akila, for the very kind introduction. Yes, I'm very pleased to share with you the programs that are being planned and have been lined up at the Meranti Makerspace. Right? Now, so while the judges are tabulating the scores, let me help to ease your anxiety by sharing with you some very exciting programs. Okay, and I must say that these programs have been kind of like, the right word is tabulated and moderated in such that it's going to bring a lot of value to all of you, especially those who have pitched your idea today. We can see that you are on the right track, and I can show you why, right? Why are you in the right track? Okay, let me proceed with my slides, yeah? So today's sharing is on the programs offered in April 2022. That's just next week, all right? From next week onwards, you can already sign up for some of the programs that we have planned. Now, before that, let me quickly share with you what's happened during the World Engineering Day. So all of you today, you're aware that World Engineering Day was celebrated at Meranti on the 4th and 5th of March. We had lots of exciting programs. We had forums by some very distinguished speakers. We had pocket talks to talk about career paths. We had a makerspace. We had a pop-up makerspace, and that is the extension of what is going to be held from April onwards. So this whole thing has been planned to capitalize on celebrating World Engineering Day. Right? So it's not just, oh, the finished World Engineering Day, should we wait for 2023? No, there is continuation. The excitement continues, right? And thanks to Meranti for the foresight, in bringing this program to you. So as you can see the pictures in the slides, lots of excitement, a lot of distinguished speakers. Okay, and two of the major events that was held in conjunction with World Engineering Day is the Engineering Biomimicry Ideas, which was just pitched by the 9 finalists. And tomorrow we'll have another pitch by the Paper Geodesic Dome Challenge. We've got another 10 pitch sessions. So these are the people, the contestants who have been very diligent in coming up with ideas to submit for this World Engineering Day. So we are going to congratulate you at the end of the session, and Akila is excitedly waiting, for the list to announce the winners with a very grand prize. If you can see that the grand prize is 5,000 ringgit. You get cash 3,000 and you get another 2,000 worth of programs, and that's the programs that I'm going to share with you in my coming slides. All right, now before that, let me tell you, all these programs, all these activities we're doing, there is a purpose. Okay, this is to give you the skills and the competencies to prepare you for the 21st century skills. Not that you're not doing it, the programs or the lessons that you study in school, in colleges are all preparing, but let us say that we are also helping to accelerate your path towards the 21st century skills. Okay, and what is 21st century skills? Critical thinking. Okay, you have done that. Creativity, collaboration, communication. And now all this has been very much captured in your pitching session today, right? We can see that you are very good at your thinking, good critical thinking skills. You're very creative for the fact that you can come up with ideas. Collaboration, I think as a team, you have proven that you have collaborated to come. Communication, maybe a little bit, some of you have it. Some of you need to improve your communication. As one of our directors from Stanford All Makerspace observed, that this is an area that we can help you to improve. And hopefully in the coming weeks and coming months, we'll be offering these programs at Meranti Makers Lab, okay, to give you some good tools of good communication skills. That's what 21st century skills. If a great idea and if you can't pitch it well, then it's going to be a very sad state. Okay. Now, quickly, what's a Makers Lab? Okay, Makers Lab or a makerspace, what's it? And I like this definition. A Makers Lab is a collaborative workspace within a school or a library or a separate private facility for making, learning, exploring, and sharing concepts and ideas. Okay, so that's what a Makers Lab is all about. But not just using high-tech. Now, if you come to the Meranti Makers Lab, you will see some of the very exciting high-tech machines, 3D printers, CNC machines. We have got laser cutters and the works, very high-tech. You can just download your idea to these machines and they can print out. That's fabulous, right? But also, you need low-tech tools, the hammers. You need to manage how to use a plier, for example, screwdrivers, and so many other basic cutting tools. That's what a makerspace is all about. If you ask our partner William, Mr. William, he'll say a makerspace can also be a toolbox. You put a toolbox in a room and open it up, hey, that's your makerspace. So it's full of ideas and imagination, right? So that's a quick definition of what's a Makers Lab. And how did we fit into? So me, myself, William, all right, Noor and Dr. Rahmat Shazi came together to create this space, and for the past 3 years plus we've been doing some very exciting programs as the pictures here indicate. So we can create things from LEDs, circuit boards, control microprocessors, right up to drones, and that's what 21st century skills is also all about. And then moving on to the initiative by Meranti Pop-Up Makerspace. Mr. Darrell, am I okay for time? You don't start the buzzer yet?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. All right, I got another 5 more minutes, yeah? All right, so this is the most exciting journey, right? So now we have got another huge facility at Meranti, and during the World Engineering Day, we call it a pop-up makerspace. So as the name suggests, it's just a pop-up, that means for a short while. And this is what we offered. These are the programs that was conducted during the World Engineering Day. But this is also something to highlight what we did during the World Engineering Day. And moving forward, for April onwards, we have planned some activities, as I say. So from young as 6 years, so we've tried to categorize into 3 age groups. 6 to 10 years old, we'll be able to offer 3D design with SketchUp. So SketchUp is a program. We have got coding and design, coding and game design, teaching kids how to create your own games. We've got the panel of a pool of experts to do that. Build and code robots. There's one very interesting project using straws, right? So we'll bring in the experts to teach you. These are for the younger kids. And we also have got sustainable energy from solar energy as well as wind energy. So these are some of the activities that we have prepared, or programs we've created for the ages 6 to 10. Moving on, we have got also programs for 12 and 15. There are 4 programs here. Again, 3D design, modeling. So at a higher level, we have got LED blinkers and LED torch. In fact, one of our facilitator, very passionate person by the name of SD Liu, who is one of our trainers, will come to teach this age group how to create LED blinkers and LED torch. And also line robots. You know, you can design, build a robot, and it follows a particular line, right? And also drone making and piloting. So there'll be 4 programs for this age group. And for 16 and above, mainly our audience today, you know, all of you who pitched your ideas for the Biomimicry Challenge, we've got these programs lined up for you. We've got 3D design, technology, and modeling. In fact, the winners, as well, the grand prize winners and the special prize winners will also receive, this is one of your prize. We're going to invite you to Meranti Makerspace, and we will offer you a 2 to 3 day program in which you will be able to learn how to design and print a particular model. So maybe if your ideas that you have pitched, and if it is possible, then this is the skill, or this is the competence that we want to give you. Meaning you can bring that idea and see whether you can design and fabricate using the facilities that is offered at Meranti Pop-Up Makers Lab. Great, isn't that fantastic? Besides that, we have drones, and this is another fantastic area, right? So our experts like William, Chemat Noor will teach you how to design and fly, not just design, to fabricate a drone and to fly it. And we also have got another Train the Trainer, and this is an opportunity we really would like to offer to youngsters like you guys. If you are very interested, we can teach you, or we can train you to be a trainer to teach the others, to teach the younger kids. And if you're good, you definitely get paid for it as well, right? So please log on. If you can see in each of the slides, there's a QR code. You can actually sign up. You can just, QR code, you can register, go to the sign up page. If you need to see a bigger one, and this is my end slide, so you will be able to sign in, choose the programs that you like to participate, and you will receive an invitation from us to say that this is the schedule, these are the dates that you can come for the programs, okay? If you're a representative of a school, teachers, parents, please let us know how we can help you, or how we can bring you and to our Meranti Pop-Up Makerspace. For now, it's called Pop-Up Makerspace, and come April or come May, it is going to be called Meranti Makers Lab. All right, so all the best. I'm sure you're very excited to hear who are the winners, the grand prize winner, as well as the 3 special prize winners. We'll be excitedly watching that now. So I'll pass back to Akila.
Thank you, Mr. Ramesh. Believe it or not, dear ladies and gentlemen, and also our finalists that really berdebar, shaking who's going to be a winner. I have actually experienced myself witnessing the great fabrication technologies at Meranti Pop-Up Makerspace. So I actually see how STEM for All provide all these facilities and assistance to all of us. So, and what Meranti Makers Lab is ready for visit by May 2022. I for sure will be going there again soon to join the program and activities. If any one of you are going to Meranti, hit us up so we can meet physically there. Thank you, Mr. Ramesh, for a really precisely presented on what's going on in Makers Lab soon. Don't forget to sign up by scanning the QR code on your screen right now. So sign up to join any other activities and program. So if you require links, we will share with you in the chat box later on. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we welcoming Engineer Rusnida Talib, the Chief Judge of Engineering Challenge today, for a quick sharing on the judge thoughts, and next to announce the winner of the challenge. Over to you, Engineer Rusnida.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Akila. Thank you to all the participants for your time to prepare your great presentation today. We have a bit, difficulties in finding the winners actually, okay? So we had received most of the entries, not only by engineering, but also from the science stream and from computing student too. Okay, so this biomimicry is indeed a very important aspect to be incorporated in our design to maintain to achieve our sustainability. Okay, but unfortunately it is not being well promoted in Malaysia. So thank you to Meranti for bringing this competition so that it become the awareness to us, to the student, to the public, to aware about the terms biomimicry. Okay. Okay, so congratulations to all the finalists who being here today, and we will announce the winner shortly. Okay. Okay. Once again, thank you very much to everybody who have participated today. We hope to see you next event. Okay, let's say maybe from Meranti, from IEM itself, from TechDome, and whoever that we will be. Maybe we can organize this yearly, right? Right? Yep. Okay, we can discuss with Meranti. Okay. Okay. So this is the time for us to announce the winner. Okay. So we will announce the first 3 special winners with no particular orders. Okay. So the winner for 3 special prizes will receive 500 cash each. And in addition to that, they will receive 500 worth of a 3D printing certification program from STEM Maker. Okay, so the winner for the 3 special prizes are, and goes to team number 5, Smart Engineers. Team number 6, Be Different. And team number 8, Raw Vision. Okay, now is the time to announce our grand prize. Okay, our grand prize will receive 3,000 cash and 2,000 words of a 3D printing certification program too. Okay. Can I have a roll drum, please? Yeah. Okay. Okay, the winner goes to... Okay, I'm nervous. Okay, it's team 3, Green Mechanical and Production Research Lab. Congratulations. Okay, back to you, Miss Akila.
Thank you, Engineer Rusnida, for the recap and announcing the winner. Once again, congratulations, winners. To all the 9 finalist team, congratulations on your courage action to step up for this one-of-a-kind challenge. You have all proven that your perseverance and resilience will indeed take you to greater heights in this journey of innovation. Indeed, the challenge doesn't end here. Your next challenge now is bringing your ideas to life all in one Meranti Park. And your first step would be prototyping at Meranti Makers Lab. So don't forget to register yourself to game up your prototyping skills. With that being said, to our grand prize and special prize winners, don't miss out on your chance to claim your winning prize from the organizers. As most of us by now, with every virtual events come with a virtual group and photo session. I would like to invite all participants, finalists, and the winners, also judges, is also all open cameras here in this session, to turn on their cameras and wear your beautiful smiles for us to snap a few photos as memories to be kept and possibly used for our social media page. Just keep smiling while the back-end teamworks will do their magic to capture our memorable moments here. Open up your camera, wear a beautiful smile, adjusting your hair. Maybe you would like to do some touch-up on your face. Changing the background, perhaps?
Editing the tudung.
Okay, so hold on. Keep smiling. The team is gonna snap our picture now. Okay, I believe the team have have kept our memories and we will share with you soon. So with that being said, thank you very much for spending your time in joining us today. Head on to worldengineeringday.my to get to know what's the next challenge for day 2. Sneak peek, it's about geodesic dome design. So I think it has been shared during the World Engineering Day launch previously. Till then, stay safe, stay sanitized, and see you all tomorrow. The celebration does not end here. Akila here signing off. Assalamualaikum and goodbye.